Is something going to happen to Joe Biden, like by November, that results in Kamala becoming the president?
That's the energy I feel. I feel like she's going to somehow, some way become president before the election, because then it's the incumbent. And then it's, why would anyone vote against, we finally have a female president, we're going to ruin it in like a month or whatever. Yep. I think it's possible. It would only work in their favor, and they're willing to do anything that works in their favor.
See, I'm not entirely convinced it would work in their favor. I think it might help, the Biden legacy, because they're trying to decide that he's going to be this like great president. He's rolling out all these initiatives that the media's not covering right now because there's no point. But she's walking this weird line where she is wanting to claim the victories of the Biden-Harris administration while also like kind of keeping them at an arm's length so that she can say, oh, well, I'm not responsible for those things, especially like she's talking about the economy today, definitely with like the Israel-Palestine stuff. And so I think if she was definitely the president at the end stretch here, there'd be no way for her to untangle herself from the Biden-Harris administration the way she wants to.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I guess I'm just expecting anything and everything now because of how insane it's been.
It has. It's so wild. I keep thinking it's only been a couple weeks. It's been like 4 weeks since the Trump assassination attempt, which is another crazy thing to say.
Feels like 4 months.
Yeah. And before that, it was all the trials. And before that, or it was debate and then all the trials. Like, this year has been quite packed.
Y'all are frogs in a pot boiling. That's all I can say. Like, we've gone from street clashes between far left and right wing factions in 2017, 18, 19. There were some murders. There were people taking over the streets. And you had the Summer of Love as the big culmination. Now we're well past that. We're at the point where it's like, oh, yeah, someone tried to kill Trump. The media's basically forgotten about it already. Secret Service is pulling from Joe Biden, a one-term president who has stepped down from running for re-election because he's too old. Kamala Harris is trying to act like she's not actually in this administration. If aliens came down, I'd be like, okay, okay, all right.
Right.
I just don't have the energy anymore,
I think that's how a lot of voters feel, too. I mean, it's too much to keep up with.
Yeah, I was floating the idea in my head the other day. So the campaign is so atrocious, Kamala's, and it almost seems like an SNL skit. Obviously, it seems fake. It is fake. It's very astroturfed. But I'm almost wondering if they know they're going to lose, assuming elections are fair and they can't actually steal it. And so they're just raising money. Is that like all they're doing right now, is just raising money?
There are political consultants who are like, I don't know, we just have to get our checks now while we can.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what it feels like to me, but also that's hinging on the idea that the elections are fair, which all this is for nothing, even the discussion of all of it, if they're not. So
no, I think it hinges on the idea that, people are self-serving. Yeah. I think there are people who are in politics and probably any career where they don't actually care about like the values or the outcome. They're there to make money, to have influence, and then move on to the next thing. I'm sure there's a ton of political strategists who are like, oh, sure, Kamala, we really think you're great and first female, whatever. But actually, this is just a stepping stone in their career.
Yeah. So someone's asking if I'm burnt out. No. What I'm saying is I don't have the energy. It's everything has happened. Like someone shot Trump in the head. It went through his ear. Okay, but that counts as his head. And they were trying to put it inside of his head. I don't know what else you could at this point. What crazy thing could happen? And then we're trying to figure out what the news is today, and we're like, oh, the SCOTUS thing is really big. And then I see the New York Times Secret Service pulled from Joe Biden, and it's like I'm hoping, who was it mentioning? Blair, were you mentioning this, that he's just sleeping? So maybe the reason they're pulling the Secret Service is because they just got hospice nurses down there now, and no one really cares.